Good morning and welcome to Backyard and Beyond. And good morning to you, Nancy Stanley, out there in California.
Hi, how are you?
We are all good here, just plowing out of our snow. Hope you're having...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I don't envy you this morning, that's for sure.
Well, it's just part of living in Iowa, so we have to handle it. Well, we want to talk about Truffles. I think that is the cutest name for your dog. But before we get into your Truffles story, I want you to give us a little bit of background, Nancy. You know, kind of like when you were growing up, were you always a pet person, and kind of where you grew up, and just a little bit about your background.
Oh, yeah, I wish my mother was on the phone right now. She'd have stories to tell.
Stories, yes.
Yes, I think I was born holding a dog. I had a German Shepherd. The first thing I saw when I opened my eyes, besides my mother, was my big German Shepherd that stayed with me for 6 years. She would just sleep by my crib every day, so I grew up with this bond, an automatic,
yes,
beautiful bond with an animal, a dog. So I think it started just so young, and my comfort zone was with my dog all the time. But I would embrace every animal in the world. I'd see a cat, love it, bird. I was even partial to cockroaches or big palmetto bugs because I was in Florida, and I would save them. So I think I've been doing this forever. I mean, animals to me are so important, and I guess that's where this all developed, this wanting to help people through animals.
Mm-hmm. And what do you see happening when a person interacts with a therapy animal? Usually we're talking about somebody who's ill, has been ill, is in a situation that's not like a home situation. What does this pet therapy do for people?
Well, my goodness, it's you have to see it to believe that you can turn a person's whole world around. You just put a puppy or any dog or cat or dog in their lap, and the expression is just amazing. I mean, I deal with people all the time since 1982. I've got so many stories, but it just, for the older people, the elderly, it's just amazing that their blood pressure actually goes down. We've had experiments with people. We put a blood pressure cuff on them, put the dog in their lap, and I swear it's amazing that their blood pressure just goes down. It's fantastic. And their heart rate goes down. They feel so loved and unconditionally accepted. And it's just wonderful. I mean, it's animal therapy. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. What kind of training, what kind of animal, what kind of training does it take to make a therapy pet? Because it might be
First of all, you have to find the right animal for you and your lifestyle, so it matches your personality. Because it's a team. It's the handler and the dog. But your dog has to be, basically, it's so simple. They just have to be obedient. They have to have this beautiful, kind personality where they love everything. No aggression, no possessiveness of the owner. You know, where some dogs, if you're holding your dog and somebody goes to touch them, they're so possessive that they growl. There's none of that happens. So with my dog Truffles, I could just swear on a stack of Bibles that there's nothing you could do to this dog to make him even snap at you, because he's so loving and so trusting and so willing to give of himself, and that's what they need to do. They just have to be a beautiful, loving dog, and people react to it. They feel this coming from the animal.
And is there special training after you think you've found the right animal? Is there some special training?
I believe that most of the places that you would take your dog if you want to actually be an animal therapist, and bring your dog somewhere, they have all different places you can go on the internet. Will help you locate them. But there's training centers where they train for their, which dog's suitable for therapy work. Which the things that I just described to you, they work with them, make sure that they have this disposition, easy to talk to and listen and react to people no matter who they are, young or old. Take food away from them, they can't snap. It's all different kinds of tests that you go through with your dog, and some are more structured than others, but basically, to me, it's just what I said, a loving dog that loves everybody, and you can tell that, but the certification is important for you. Sometimes it includes insurance, so God forbid a million times something should happen. You know, that's just a legal thing that you should be covered for. So it's just that. It's just testing your dog, making sure it doesn't jump when it hears a loud noise and get freaked out. It's got to be this calm temperament. And there's certain dogs that have this temperament and certain dogs that just won't. Mm-hmm. That's just part of their nature.
Yes. And you tell a little more about this in your book. I know we want to talk about Truffles. 5 pounds chocolate poodle.
Yeah.
Just this little, according to the picture, just this little bundle of chocolate-colored fur. And your book is called Pillow with a Heartbeat.
Right.
And you talk about how you got Truffles and some of the things that you've done with Truffles. It's an unusual book, Nancy, because it comes with its own dog collar.
Yes, it does. It's the way I wanted to design it, as a gift book for people, you know, like for any holidays, birthdays, Christmas, Hanukkah, you name it. This is the best gift. And for people who love dogs, the reason why they like it so much and it's been doing so well is that it's coming from my dog's point of view. He's the narrator.
Yes, and really fun.
And when you read it, you can relate to your own dogs, you know, and you'll say, oh, my goodness, yeah, that's what my dog is thinking. I was sure of it.
Yes, and
you know, it is what he's thinking, because I have this connection with him where I actually feel I know what he's thinking.
Sure. And what were there some instances in your life that pushed you or encouraged you to write this book, to share Pillow with a Heartbeat with other folks?
Well, I believe, besides my love for dogs and what it's done for me, when I was very young, my parents got divorced, and I was so miserable and alone. And with my dog, I'm telling you, it made everything okay, because he listened to me, very non-judgmental. I could cry or laugh, and it was so refreshing to have someone around me that supported my feelings. And I thought this would be important for everybody, because everybody goes through some hardship or physical challenges, and dogs make it all better. But the first time I ever saw this group of children that were that had Down syndrome, they were at the zoo. I was working in L.A. at the zoo at the time, and I could see the change in their faces when they had contact with the animals. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. I want to do something with my dog to pay back for every blessing I have in my life. I mean, I've got a wonderful family, my children, my grandchildren, and people should pay back. They should pay it forward.
So you started...
And that's what I always wanted to do, and I've been doing it since 1982.
Uh-huh. And you started a therapy program called TLZ, Tender Loving Zoo. We talked about TLC, but you have TLZ, and
right.
So you started this program and got other people involved.
I did. That's when it all started. I was the first person, I believe, that started this animal therapy programs all over the United States, and I was the first one to get them allowed into hospitals and centers for the elderly, convalescent hospitals, and people were writing me because I was in the newspaper, and can you help me set up a program? And before I blinked, it was everywhere. We had 52 centers. We had people all over doing the same thing, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted people to understand this concept of how important pets are to people. Mm-hmm. And now it's like a household word.
Yes.
Pet therapy, everybody knows what that means.
And even our little towns here, we have some pet therapy. I think they're mostly dogs, but I've been in situations where they had cats, a little more independent when you're talking about a cat. And then
right.
I think they, even though it may be a little bit divorced from this in terms of the bird sanctuary kind of places where people can sit and watch the birds, it's still kind of a connection. Not quite the same as holding little Truffles, but it's still a connection.
Yeah, I mean, birds aren't warm and fuzzy, even though I like birds. You can't really hug them. And yeah, Truffles is an amazing animal. He actually senses how people are feeling. If they're feeling good, he'll be a little more frisky, and some of the children that I visit aren't not feeling so good, and he'll just lay there and look at them and let them hold him, and that warmth that he emits to them is just fantastic. And they smile, they forget about their problems, and they forget about chemo, and they forget about whatever they're going through, and it does change their lives, and it makes a profound impact on them. And I love it. It's so rewarding, and I know Truffles loves it too, because he wags his tail every time I say, okay, we're going to go see some children. And it's like, oh, okay,
yep. Away we
my
go.
time to shine.
Yes. And do you have a specific story you'd like to share, either a dramatic story or a funny story you'd like to share in your experience with?
Well, Truffles is just funny altogether. He does tricks and things for the children. But the most profound thing that ever happened, I think, to me was in the beginning when I started this therapy with Truffles. We went to see this woman. She was just turning 100, and loved Truffles so much. And I saw her about maybe 6 or 7 times. And one day I went back, and her bed was empty, and it was like, right to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So it turned out that she had passed away, but she left a note thanking us. Makes me cry.
Yes, it makes all your time and effort very worthwhile when you get one little note. Like
my
that.
goodness! I mean, to thank my dog for coming to make her day happy is just too much.
And I know you have lots more stories, Nancy, but we need to leave today. But again, I want to mention the title of the book, Pillow with a Heartbeat. And you could go on and Google that, or you could go to Barnes & Noble, Amazon, other places that sell books to find this nice little book, Pillow with a Heartbeat.
Thank you. And I have a website, too, pillowwithaheartbeat.com. They can find out all the information.
All right. Thank you very much, Nancy Stanley, for visiting with us this morning.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Until next time, here's a thought. For those who fought for it, life has a flavor the protected will never know.